Hey
Hello.
everyone, how are you?
Right there.
Good.
Good. How
Yeah,
are you?
fine. Yep. So today we're gonna be talking about a very interesting topic regarding to programming marathon. So we actually bring a specialist on this topic, right? John Arias is here with us, and he's gonna share a bit of his experience and also how this marathon can help you become a better programmer or better professional. Uh, but before starting, let me just say hello to everyone. So let me start from Chila. Hello, Chila. How are you?
Oh, hello, Hugo. Hello, Joao and Luis, Igor, and everyone who is joining our session. I am fine and I'm very happy to be here with you and learning more about programming marathons.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I also hope to learn a lot today. And you, Igor, how are you, man?
Yeah, much better now, Hugo. I've
Mm,
been sick these last weeks. Finally, my voice is back. If you notice when we joined Professor Isidro, I was sounding like Barry White. I could barely speak correctly, but now I can. I'm back here with you guys. It's a pleasure to have you here, João, today with us. Looking forward to learning about these marathons. I've reposted Sila's post on LinkedIn today and talking about, do you like marathons? Are they healthy as a running marathon? Maybe for your career they are. So let's find out with João today. And it's a pleasure to see all of you guys here.
great question. Yeah, that's awesome. So, and you, Luis, how are you, man? How was the week for you? How is it
Hello,
going?
everyone. I'm great, and I'm thrilled to be diving into the world of programming marathons with you all tonight. Yeah, it's a great theme.
Perfect. So John, I'm gonna call you John because the session is in English and it's
No worries.
oh John.
João is a bit hard to say in English, right?
Yes, let's say John. So as Luis said on the backstage, is John Sands, right?
John Sands.
So great, man. Yeah, I had great opportunity to work with you and know that you are a great professional. Also, you have a channel regarding to the program marathon where you help people to solve some challenging problem that comes on this marathon. But before entering any of this topic, can you tell a little bit about you and also already tell what is programming marathon, how it works, so people we can put everyone in the same page.
Yeah, for sure. So, hi everyone. I'm John, or João in Portuguese, right? I've been programming since forever. I started coding when I was 7 years old, doing very simple things, of course, but uh, I've been coding ever since. And once I joined university, I got the opportunity to participate in a few programming marathons. So I initially did not join the computer science or computer engineering program. I went into electrical engineering, but and it was unusual for someone from other sides of engineering going into this type of competition at where I go, but at where I went, sorry. But the teacher brought me in, was amazing, that he let me join his classes, and then we started working together in this competition, and I got to compete for all the years following. Got to participate in the national finals for the Brazil, for the competition as well. And it's an amazing opportunity to learn. It's an amazing opportunity to develop your skills as a programmer, and to prepare yourself for the job market as well, right? So just a tiny correction. We in Portuguese we call them programming marathons, because we the um, uh, SBC, right? They organized a competition. They called it Maratona de Programação, which is programming marathon. That's how we usually call. But in English, it's usually known as competitive programming. So you have the ICPC competition, and if you're looking for this topic anywhere else in English, you're probably going to find it as competitive programming.
Competitive
Mm-hmm.
programming. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. And curiosity, you say that you started programming at 7, but you end up deciding to go with electric engineering. What made you make this decision?
Oh man, my path is like I have the weirdest career path ever. So when I was about 15 to 16 years old, I moved to Canada. I did not see programming as a career path back then. I just liked solving math problems, and I just like using computers to do that, right? So I would write scripts just for I was really interested in prime numbers, and I was trying to solve some problems in number theory, but just like learning by myself a little bit here and there. But then I got the opportunity to participate in a competition called iGEM, which is a synthetic biology competition, right? So nothing related to computer science at all. But they needed someone to code their website for them. And as well, I was really interested in participating in the competition as well, because all of this molecular biology and genetics, I was amazed by that. And the competition was hosted at MIT, which was also interesting. So since I knew how to code websites, I joined the team and then ended up participating in the biology part as well, which was fun, was cool. But then I came back to Brazil for university, right? University in Canada is expensive. University in Brazil is really high quality. We undervalue our universities here. They are amazing. So I decided to come back and study here in Brazil. And that's before I joined the university, I got to work with my father's cousin. He worked in the University of Brasilia doing research in molecular biology, and he just brought me into the labs, and, like, help me out with experiments here and there. It was really fun. I was really interested by that. But I saw how for many of the experiments, they would know what they needed, what equipments they needed. They would know what they wanted to do, but they did not have a path to develop this type of equipment. So I decided to join electrical engineering because I was interested into developing lab equipment. I wanted to help develop their experiments and develop equipment for their experiments. But that's how I got in touch with my first programming professor at university. He was doing research in bioinformatics, and that's how I got more into the computer science itself. So I started biology, ran a little bit by electrical engineering, and then went straight into bioinformatics, and that was fun. I did a lot of research in bioinformatics as well, but I also got to join the competitive programming side of things, because it was all of this solving math problems that I was really interested as a teenager, and that was really fun for me. So I was like, okay, I want to join this, and I started developing. So turns out my research in bioinformatics brought me into data science and all this machine learning and all these types of things, which is nowadays it's my work. It's how I pay my bills. But also this experience with competitive programming also brought me a really good perspective on what are the algorithms running behind all of that and how we can optimize it. And also brought me a view on a lot of topics in computer science that I think are really interesting and that cross over with data science quite a bit. Like you have operations research has a huge intersection with competitive programming. and a huge intersection with data science as well and machine learning. So I got to experience all of that and crossover, which landed me my first job with you, Yugu.
Oh, it
At the
was the
time, we
first job.
didn't.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah, yeah. And well, before asking more things, let me just say hello to everyone that is watching us. If you are watching us, and we are talking about competitive programming. If you are curious about or have any questions, please place here. Say hello here in the chat and place your questions here so we can. John can actually help answering you and helping you in your career. Yeah, that's great, John. That's a amazing story. It reminds me a bit my brother. He is from the biology field, and now he is bioinformatics. And one of the reasons he moved to bioinformatics is because he had a problem, and I want to play with him a game, and he couldn't because he has some work to do on the homework to do, and oh, but I can do it with some program quickly here, and then we can go play. And then he see the and I solved that, and we went to play game. And then he see the power of the programming. It's nice. I would spend 2 days here doing something on the spreadsheet, and my brother solved it in a few hours. So it was a great way to influence someone. But let me just ask you, or actually, let me just ask if anyone, and Luis, Igor, Chil, do you have any questions so far?
Yeah, I do. I do have a
Right.
question for Luis. You mentioned you're in the bioinformatics field right now with machine learning. Have you been working with systems for the health using machine learning and artificial intelligence or something related with that?
Yeah, so my first research was we were trying to look at a protein, and based on its shape, we were trying to tell what does it do, right? So we have a whole bunch of proteins that like we an entire database of proteins that we know their shape, they are there. Some of them we speculate on what their function actually is. Some of them we can confirm. Some of them we can actually say, oh, there's actually a better function here. I don't think they really match, and we could predict the functions for other proteins as well. So that's what I was really working with on my first research.
Okay, so that's really in depth in the biological thinking, the protein level, right?
Yeah, at the molecular level itself.
Oh,
That's
that's
cool.
interesting. Very interesting.
And just just clarify. Just say hello here. Hello, Andrea. Good to see you here. So, how you mentioned it in the very beginning that competitive programming is quite different when we call coding challenges, right? It is. What is how do you see the difference on the type of the problems that you solve in each of them? I know that lots of people are after coding challenges because it is many interviews does request you to solve some coding challenges. It is something like that. It is something like the challenges that we see on HackerRank, LeetCode, or it is completely different uh, way, different problem, different level of the challenge.
Yeah, so what I was saying before is mainly that it's just called different in English, but yeah, it is coding challenges. They are coding challenges. It's very similar to lead code. So that's one thing that it will prepare you. It will prepare you for all those technical interviews if that's something that it's interesting for you. uh, Usually, the requirement for technical interviews and lead code questions is usually a bit lower than what you need to do to actually prepare for the competitive programming, mainly because of time, right? So in LeetCode, you're aiming to answer a question in about 20 minutes, which is like a round of interview. So they make it easy enough so that you can try to reason through a solution in those 20 minutes, right? For programming contests, you have 5 hours to solve 10 to 12 questions. And you usually, like, if you solve 4 or 5 questions, you're getting your place into the national finals or something like that. So you could reasonably solve a question an hour pretty much, and they're going to be like, so you have a few easy questions in programming, in competitive programming, which are similar to LeetCode easies and LeetCode mediums. And then the medium questions in those competitive programmings, they are kind of like the LeetCode hards. But then the hard questions are itself, they would just blow LeetCode out of the water. It's they're much more challenging. They require you to have a deep understanding of algorithms, a deep understanding of mathematics and how those interact on themselves. And sometimes you have a classical algorithm that is really well known, but you need to modify in a particular way to answer that particular question. And if you don't have like this deep knowledge of the algorithm, you cannot really modify it to solve what you're trying to solve.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was to ask if I know that there is a international entity that actually runs the international competition, but anyone can join to these competitions. Have to be enrolled in some academic background, in some academic, some university or some entity behind, or not. You can. Oh, I think this week I want to join competitive programming, and if there is any other competitive programming or competitions that runs independently during the whole places.
Yeah. So
Know
so if you are
that?
so if you're at high school, then there is a competition that you can join. So I forgot the name of them right now. Sorry about that. But there is a competition specifically for high school students.
Mhm.
It's
No problem. Let me check here. Our
sorry.
our technical people can check on the internet. But yeah, what else?
uh, But if you are at university, then you can join the programming marathon here in Brazil, right? The Maratona de Programação, which is organized by the Brazilian Society of Computer Science, of Computing, SBC. And this has a few rules. So you cannot be enrolled in a university for more than 5 years, and there's an age limit as well. And if you need to, it's a end situation. So if you are at university for more than 5 years, but you have not reached the age yet, so you can still participate. And if you have reached the age, but you just joined university, then you can also participate as well. So those are the rules. You only can you are only not allowed to participate once you reach the age and you reach the time in university as well. After that, there are a few sporadic competitions. There used to be Google Code Jam. They stopped running that. There's there's a weekly competition at LeetCode as well. So there's that, which you can also join. But it does become quite a bit harder. Unfortunately, ever since I left university, I stopped competing. So now I'm just mainly focused on training the new generation of competitors. So I don't really know many of the competitions that are running outside of that.
Well, but it's
João,
cool. Go
I
ahead.
have a question about these marathons and these coding challenges. How can what are the benefits for someone to join these marathons, these competitions? Does this help them stand out of the crowd? Is this seen by companies, or is just for their own development to get better when doing interviews? How do you see that?
Yeah, so I can say for myself, uh, there's that 10,000 hours rule, right? Which says that if you want to become an expert on any field, you need to practice for 10,000 hours, popularized by Michael Gladwell on the Outliers book. And for me, it was my way of getting my 10,000 hours. Like, I don't think I've at 10,000 hours yet, but if you are going to do something for 10,000 hours, then it must not be boring, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be bored by 10,000 hours.
As an hours.
Yeah, that's literally eight. Like, if you practice an hour a day, that's 27 years without skipping holidays and weekends and
That's
no
true.
days off. So it is a lot of time. So you don't want to be bored. And participating in competitions is something that I find it really interesting, because it's fun. You're competing with other people. You are competing with your peers at university, and you're competing with people from other universities. And if you are at that level, are competing globally. With Stanford, MIT, you're competing with Russia, China. They are
Oh,
huge on those competitions as well. So that's what the main point was for me. And the but
was
it
it
does help with
scary?
visibility. Pardon?
Was it scary at the beginning on these competitions?
Yeah, yeah, because you go and you feel like you don't know anything. Like
Yeah.
I remember. So you get a balloon every time you solve a question, right? And
I
I
remember the
remember
bubble.
seeing people getting balloons everywhere. You see, and I'm like, how can I not get
Oh,
this one program that everyone is getting, and why that? Like, I've been coding since forever, and this is an easy question, and I cannot solve it whatsoever. So it is a bit scary, especially as a new joiner. There's you see, and you're gonna be learning a lot about uh, number theory. You're going to be learning about graphs. You're going to be learning about dynamic programming. Those are not easy topics to grasp. You need to have a really good understanding of operating systems, of how the memory layout, like the memory layout on computers, on how you estimate the algorithm complexity. Those are all things that you need to learn. And as a first joiner, if you go in your first year at university and you see all of that, it can definitely be scary, but there is a big payout. So you were asking me about visibility at companies, right? And this is a
Yeah.
big topic as well. I was hired at a programming marathon. I was hiring at a programming competition.
oh yeah.
So there, it was one that the company was sponsoring, and I did particularly well, and I did take my resume there. And there are always companies sponsoring those events, and I've seen many people getting their internships from those sponsors. Right? They go particularly well. They don't need to be at the top 10, or you just go reasonably okay, and many companies are happy to take you in. So at the time from the competition, I remember that as soon as the competition was over, I went back home, and it did not take a week, barely, and I was getting a phone call from those people that were at the event at the event, saying, "Oh, we want to bring you in. We really liked you there. We saw your resume." That they and unfortunately, the time did not really work out for me at that particular moment. but then they just said, oh, we have a spot during your summer vacations, and why don't you come and start working for us at that time. So that's how I got my first job, and I stayed at that job for 5 years. And it was having that knowledge that the competitive programming brought me. It sure helped me a whole lot at the job that I was doing as well.
It
That's
is really
great.
great to know about that. Congratulations. And John,
Thanks.
you talked about the format of these competitions. You talked about some contents that usually appear, and a little bit about the benefits. But I'm curious about one thing, about the technologies. Are there any specific programming languages or technologies in these marathons, in these competitions?
Yeah,
I think
yeah. So
that connects with the origin YT question, right? He asked about if you're gonna or can program in Pascal. So probably if which technologies we can use actually on these marathons, on this competition.
yeah, so it's either C/C++. You can use both, either one. You can use Python, Java, or Kotlin. All right. So I know a lot of people like to program in Java. I mainly use C++ and Python. Um, but the thing is, you usually want to use you'll find most of the content by C++ programmers or programmers as well. Mainly, especially C++ programmers, because you have the standard template library, right? But mainly because if you are programming in Python, then there are no guarantees that your program is going to pass. So there is a time limit for every program, and you need to the program needs to run within that time limit. And there are no guarantees for Python, but you do have guarantees for all the other languages. And there are some questions that you need to use big integers, right? That go above the 64-bit integer that C++ has. But yeah, you see mostly people doing the work in C++ and hopping into Python whenever they have like a big integer question. You see some people going to Java. I don't program in Java whatsoever. I know it's an amazing language. I never really got that interested into learning it. But yeah, those are
And
those.
related to
Yeah,
that
see,
question. Oh,
yeah, go
okay.
ahead.
No,
Yeah, go ahead.
just because it's related, I just wanted to ask it because you told about the algorithms. So, what other fundamentals you think it's important to know before you go to these contests, this
Uh,
competition?
so okay, let me grab a few books.
To getting started, okay?
Yeah.
We
That
talked
is
with Professor Isidro about fundamentals the last episode.
This one is
Nice.
right beside me.
complete
Concrete
mathematics.
Mathematics by Donald Knuth, and
Yeah,
it's a
enough. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
this one is a classic. You
Yes.
definitely need to master this one. So
Oh,
whatever you can get into mathematics, it's really important. Whatever knowledge, and mathematics, I like. You have discrete mathematics, number theory, geometry is really important as well. There are many questions on computer geometry, uh, right? So linear algebra and all of that. Uh, but also your breadth of knowledge into computer science is really important, right? So you see questions that it would require you to know how the round robin algorithm works on your scheduler or on your CPU, right? It's you have questions that will test how let's see. uh, I don't think I ever saw one of distributed systems, but I think I've heard there are some. But yeah, mainly there. Like, if you really need to master graph theory. Graph theory is something that there's always a question about graph theory. Um, Dynamic programming is something, and I think some paradigms like dynamic programming is a really important problem-solving paradigm for you to master. But greedy algorithms also fall a lot, and you always have a question about greedy algorithms as well. Trying to think here, but yeah, just mainly your breadth of knowledge on what are algorithms are important in each area. They can really give you an insight on how to solve those challenges. And you need to be creative. Like you're not gonna be asked a question on, oh, let's implement the shortest path from here to here. No, it's you're gonna like there was, let me give you an example. There was one question that really stuck with me from years, that we wanted to know what's the longest chain of dominoes we could make, right? And to solve that, you needed to understand, like, I solved it when I remembered the bridges of Königsberg, and how Euler started the whole graph theory part. And that made me remember, oh, if you have an even number of edges, right, from on all nodes, then you can just see the longest path, and you just need to go through all the nodes. And if you don't have, then how many nodes can I actually cross? And that understanding of graph theory was what brought me to solve the problem in there, right? So you need to have all those
There are
in mind.
components for
Yeah.
and mix algorithms to solve the problem, right? I totally relate to you when you say about creativity. I I participated in not in the contest. It was in the classes to prepare for the contest. I liked that, but I never went so far with this. But it was interesting to how creative you have to be, because sometimes it is a sounds easy question, sounds easy algorithms to solve it, but there's a tiny constraint that makes that is not just this apply the straightforward algorithm that you learned on the on the class to solve it. It never works like that, right? You have to
No,
figure out
never.
it is a missing. I can't do this because of that, and then you have to make a lot of different things to solve. But it
you
was
you
fun.
do need to you do need to reframe the whole problem in a way that it can be solved by
Oh
that
yeah.
algorithm, right?
I think it is a way to. I do believe it is a way to actually sharpen your skills, right? Especially when you have to deal with lots of algorithms. Of course, it's not the reality of many people during the work, but if you are into grabbing those challenging interviews like Google or these big techs that they ask you to solve them, and if you have fear, or you have you get uncomfortable to solve those problems. I don't know you. I don't know if you went through this kind of interview, but I have difficulties because I'm not used to solve it. And maybe if I do 1 hour a day, I would be better prepared, right?
It does help. I've been through those types of interview as well. Sometimes it can be challenging as well, because I don't know, I get nervous. I get really nervous whenever I'm being interviewed, or whenever I'm coding in front of someone. But I can say that it does make it easier, like and if you're not practicing those skills as well, you can definitely miss them. So let's say you're preparing for a transition at your job, and you know that you will be required to go through one of those technical interviews. You better practice a little bit, even if you were a good competitive programmer before, because
Mhm.
you are gonna miss those skills. But one thing I noticed is that this ability to reframe the problem in a way that it fits into an algorithm that I know and a shape that I recognize. It's something that I applied it quite often at work, and in all the projects that I've participated. It's sometimes you see novel, challenging scenarios, and you having this ability will make it less challenging. Not you can, because you're practicing this idea of reframing, right? You're practicing, and once you frame it in a way that you can understand and you're used to and you can reason about it, it just makes it a whole lot easier to solve.
Great. It's the practice to get to perfection.
Yeah.
And if you can share a bit about some what is the besides the reframing tip, there's other kinds of things that usually it is not just going solving the problem. Some other things that you probably, if you do a lot, I think you're gonna start identifying some patterns, something that probably helps you a lot. Like you said, by reframing, you when you start understanding reframing the problem, you can solve it better. Any other things that you have been realizing during all these practices?
Yeah, definitely. So I think the ability to communicate what you're thinking, it's really important, and you can definitely practice this, because when you're in this competition, you are in a team of 3 people. So having good communication with your teammates, it's crucial. Uh, the So the way this competition works is whoever solves the most number of problems faster, they get a better score, right? So, and sometimes you'll be sorry, is my audio okay? I think I'm going back
Okay,
and forth
yeah, it's
here.
okay.
Okay. uh but yeah, so the if you can identify a problem and be like, oh, this person have better experience of this, and then you can tell them, oh, I think you do great with us. uh and this can go a long way into getting you a good position at the competition. So having this communication is really important. And also, what something that I found, and I wish I did more of this when I was competing, and I recommend everyone who competes now to actually do this, that I found after after starting the Capivara Cafeinada, my YouTube channel, is that explaining the solution to people and uh, teaching them how to solve the problems,
Mm.
they can deepen your understanding of the problem itself, right? So if you are in your if you've been competing for a few years, 1 2 3 years, maybe start teaching the younger ones. Maybe start telling them, oh, this is how you go through a breadth first search, this is how you go through a depth first search, this is how you represent a graph in your computer, right? Those and this can really deepen your understanding and your knowledge of the algorithms that you're working. And this can also help you with your communication skills and help you to uh, turn something that is complex into something simple that you can communicate.
Yeah, that's the Feynman technique, right? It's
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. I would like to ask more about your channel, but before doing that, I just want to call here Pedro Cavaleiro. He's just joined us and just turned it off the camera. Hey, Pedro, can you join us right now? I think he's gonna be joined in a few minutes. Okay, it's going now. He's coming here. Hey, Pedro, how are you?
Hey, hello guys. Sorry I'm late.
No problem, man.
It's too early here in Canada.
Oh, you're in Canada?
Oh, Yeah, Pedro is in Canada. Oh, Pedro.
Yeah.
John was studied in Canada for a while,
Oh, really?
and he came back to Brazil. So
We're in
you
Canada
have
yet.
some in common. Yeah,
I'm
Pedro.
Toronto now.
Yeah.
I'm Toronto here. It's
Oh,
it's
nice.
4 degrees today, and it's expected to snow on Thursday.
Wow.
Starting the
Great.
winter, right?
So Pedro, since you just joined, do you have any questions so far regarding to we are talking about competitive programming in Portuguese, maratona de programação. I don't know if where you studied you had this kind of contest. I think Ita does join this maratona de programação.
Yeah, Dita did that like some years after I finished. Okay, so at the time we didn't have this.
Oh, really?
During my time there, yeah. But after that, they started doing it because people from WITA likes this kind of
Competition.
of word like competition. They use it to go to physics and math and astronomy, all this stuff. So people started working on these competitions for computer in algorithms and stuff. So it was, but I don't have much information about it, unfortunately.
Ita is it's a pretty strong contestant. It's really hard to compete with them. They're always at the national finals. They've competed a few times in the world finals, so they
For
are.
those, yeah, for those that is not from Brazil, ITA is the Institute of Aeronautics, Technology and Aeronautics, right? So yeah,
Aeronautics Institute of Technology.
Aeronautics Institute of Technology. Yeah. Great, thank you. So yeah, John, can you tell a little bit about your channel? What do you share there? How it is the experience of having a channel and talking about this competitive programming?
Oh, it's been fun. It's been for me. It's reviving this experience that I had when I was studying for all this competition. And so it's you know. Uh, it's something that I can see myself doing. It's an amazing experience. That's how I'll put it. It brings back memories from how I was studying and all of the dedication that I put, and I'm happy to be able to share now all this knowledge that I accumulated through those years, right? And it's been amazing seeing the develop of people and the reach that the channel has. So I find amazing how I got to get in touch with people from Acre, which is something that I've never been, and I've never ever imagined reaching this place. It's really far from where I live, and I did not imagine it would have this reach. So I started this channel mainly because I wanted to help out the people at the Unifei, which was where I studied, and help them to prepare for the competition. It is growing at a slow pace, and I can say that it's a dense topic to go through, so I can imagine that it's not something that you're going to be doing at your leisure time, right? And it's not something that you're going to watch for fun, I think. But and it's also I do have a fault in that, because I should be more consistent with my videos, but I try. But I do. Pardon?
I think you're doing well because, as you said, it is a dense content, right? You have a lot to prepare before you can actually publish some content. Here we do just chat, and it's way to go. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it is a dense topic, and I do need to prepare. Like, how am I gonna say this? How am I gonna make it in a way that is understandable, it's reachable, and it's not gonna be scary for a newcomer? Uh, I have people that are just starting out into programming reaching out to me, and I think that's amazing. We do have a small community, but it's a strong community packed, and I believe people are enjoying my content, even though it is a dense content that it's hard to follow through, right? But yeah, it's what I think it's most interesting for me is that I can finally bring back this uh, you know it's people always say that you should do something that you would do for free, and of course I want to grow the channel, so I can monetize and I can dedicate more time into it, and like do this as a full-time job, and actually take this into a level where I can teach more people and have better content. But it is something that I would do for free anytime, because I do enjoy it so much, and I do enjoy all this time that I've been dedicating to it.
Yeah, that's true, man. When you can connect what you love to do with earning money and earn
Yeah.
money from that, it's the best career you can take, right?
Yeah, that's my hopes for the channel. I hope one day
That's great.
uh, I hope I can get the reach, because then if I could ever dedicate for full time for this, or even like slow down with the other parts of my career so I can focus on this, that would be amazing. Right now, that's out of the possibilities, the realm of possibilities, but I am enjoying it, what's even like that. I am enjoying doing this throughout this time.
We have to, man. We have to run a contest of competitive
That
programming, and then you can also run your channel to everyone.
that would be fun.
Programming of capivara cafeinada. Would be
That
great.
would be fun.
I have a question. So uh, you mentioned that ITA is a good competitor, and they reach all the finals. So if you're competing with ITA, you can make mistakes. So what are some common mistakes or pitfalls that you see participants making these competitions, and of course how to avoid them?
Okay, so I think there are levels of competitors in each stage. So usually, just a brief explanation of the rules of the competition. There are areas on, like, if you are at the regional level, you're going to be competing at an area that is close to your town or city, and each segment of that can take one person to the national finals. And the rule is that if the first team goes into the top 10 teams in Brazil, then you can take a second team. And there's also a rule for if for the ladies out there, right? So depending on how the female team positions, they can also bring someone else, or how the competition goes. I'm not that sharp on the rules right now to explain. So usually here in Belo Horizonte, you see that the UFMG, they will go to the top 10 universities in Brazil. So they usually bring someone else, right? And for those levels, UFMG, I don't really know the mistakes that they are making. I wasn't at that level when I was competing, right? I think it's yeah, those guys are at another level. ITA is at another level as well. You have University of Brasilia at this level. The Federal of Pernambuco is also at that level. Shout out to the people at the northeast of Brazil, right? They are really strong competitors as well. But if you are at like at the other competitors levels, which is Unife, when I went here, you have Cefet is pretty strong as well, which is another institute in the region. The main focus is that you need to solve problems and you need to solve them fast. There are 12 problems. People are usually going to solve 4. If you are the first to solve 4, you're going to go to the national finals, right? So don't take too long in a problem. Identify which one is the easiest and go for that, because if the time can cost you a lot. Try to recognize those patterns pretty quick. You see that as soon as you recognize like a traditional problem, if you solve it, that can make a huge deal on where you position. And also these. So mine are a bit weird, but I'm gonna show you keyboards. Mine are pretty weird. Don't learn to type on these. Learn on a proper keyboard, but learn to freaking type. I cannot express this enough. If you are a fast typer, that can make a whole lot of difference. Not only because you can solve the problems faster, and if you take there's the book, the Bible of competitive programming, which is actually called competitive programming, and they do say that you should learn to type fast because you're going to code fast and you can solve the problem faster. But what I find is that learning to type fast will allow me to practice through more problems, because I spend less of my time typing and more of my time thinking about those problems, right? And it's crucial. I can guarantee your position at the rank is directly proportional to how many problems you've solved, how many challenging problems you've solved. Not only problems, but how many challenging problems you've solved.
So practice is important.
Practice is important.
Yeah, it's a competition, man. It's
a competition. It's like any
you
other
need to
competition,
train,
right?
man. Any other competition.
It is a marathon.
There's no magic. Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
magic. You need to go and study, and as you said, it should be something like you shouldn't do in your free time. You need to be prepared and prepare like an athlete.
Athlete.
Athlete, yeah.
I also
go ahead.
question. You mentioned that you are working, you are competing in a team. So, are there any strategies how you split up your responsibilities within the team, or how you coordinate yourself? One is typing, one is thinking about the next, or are there any strategies for splitting up?
Yeah, definitely, because you cannot learn all of computer science at a deep level, right? So it's really challenging to go through this deep of understanding of all of computer science when you're competing, especially at your first 5 years of university, right? If you are going through a doctor as a postdoc, then maybe you can go through something a deeper knowledge, but you're not competing at that level, right? So what it's usually good for you to do is find a good team of people at the beginning of university who are interested in competing, and try to split who is going to learn what. So you have those people that are really good at graph theory, and they're going to be learning everything graph theory. They know all those different algorithms for you to solving the traveling salesman problem. They have, and they can go through them really fast. They can implement breath first search while they're sleeping, right? And then you'd go and take someone else and go, learn everything string. You have to learn like all the different string matching algorithms, all of the and how you're going to use them. You're going to learn about trees and how you use them, and all of these different variations of problems. And then you take someone else and they learn everything about mathematics. So you go computer geometry, learn everything about computer geometry, learn everything number theory there is to know. And you have different knowledges that can supplement itself at the competition. Then when you are competing, you can they can communicate. So I start reading a problem, you start reading a problem, this one that I started reading, I think is graph theory. Can I give it to you so you can try to solve it? And this one, oh, looks like a number theory type of problem. Can you give it to me and I can go through it? So this type of coordination, it's really important. Unfortunately, it's really hard to do, right? The team that I had when I started competing was way different than the team that I ended up at the end of university, and we kind of went more into the generalist route, which I think I think damaged us a little bit. But what you really see on those strong competitors, like ITA, UFMG, University of Pernambuco, you see that they have those competitors really tuned in into which one is going to be solving each type of problem.
Mm-hmm.
They're already well organized on that. On
Yeah.
the road. It reminds me some kind of esport e-games, right? Like League of Legends or Dota, when you have to each one has a row, have better with some character, and and go kill the
Yeah.
competitor. So I have a question regarding to the international level. Do you know what is the countries that has best scores internationally? How Brazil are in this position in this kind of competition?
Oh, I think it's hard to find years where Brazil ranked into like the top competitors. I don't think there are any. Brazil is pretty weak at the international level.
International level.
Yeah, you will see a lot of Russia. Russia is always on the top ones. China also, US of course, and then sometimes India as well. Sometimes you see Korea. So, but unfortunately, you see Brazil getting good positions sometimes, but never really at like top ranks. Never really bringing a medal. So that's one dream that I have. I hope I can inspire people at with the Capivara Cafeinada for one day, so that one day we can take the medal. Hopefully, I can teach at least the beginning of the journey for people, and they can take from me and surpass and go grab our medal.
Yeah, that's cool, and it's all possible, right? Recently,
Yeah.
these days, I love to play table tennis, and table tennis was always known by dominated by Asians, by China, Korea, and sometimes Japan, but it was always Asia. And now we have a Brazilian there, Hugo Calderano. He's doing amazing job
Nice.
representing Brazil and entering on the top 10 players in the world. So yeah, all possible.
Nice.
Nothing static, right?
Yeah. Okay. And we do have amazing universities here in Brazil, right? And I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be a matter of preparing, the strategy. And I don't. I think we do have capable students. We do have capable universities. I think we can get there. I don't see why we're not there yet, but we do need to train our staff and our people and all the competitors to get to this level.
Yeah, I see. I just opened the scoreboard here of the top universities that on the internationals. Most of them are Asia and Northeast. Let me just quickly share. But while I'm sharing here, anyone have any last question, because we are getting in the end of the session already. No, that's so I got here. Are you seeing the scoreboard here?
No.
Not sharing it.
Okay, I have to open here, right? Yeah, here.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
So here we are. I had some curiosity about it. And Asia, Northern Eurasia, so Asia, Pacific. Yeah, mostly. It's MIT here, North America. Cool.
Japan is pretty strong as well, right?
Yeah, Japan's pretty strong here. I see Tokyo Institute of Technology as well. And as you said, Moscow, Russia, right?
Yep.
China, yeah, strong. Cool. Okay. I was curious about it. So cool stuff, man. Really, really interesting to see how it's going on, this competitive programming world. And yeah, so we are reaching here our 1 hour of session already. I forget to ask audience if they have any questions, but I think we can start wrapping up. Or anyone here, if you have any question, you can ask. Now is the chance. I see just Igor coming back here. Hey Igor, good to have you back.
I'm joining you to thanks, Joel. I was on another meeting. See Pedro join right now. So from what we have spoken at the beginning, it's very interesting. I've seen some of the slides we're showing here with a lot of universities on the secondary screen here. From what I could see, that's very interesting for a career that you're watching. It's interesting to not be afraid of coding. We have spoken about that, right, Joan?
Yeah.
And the more you practice, like anything you do, the better you get at. So I see that's interesting. It's different for me. I did the smaller dojos, lead code a lot, hacker hang, but not a marathon the way you've done. So it's interesting. It's different, interesting.
Yeah. And for sure, it will probably helps a lot during the big tech interviews. So
Yeah, that's-
if you are interested in a big tech, I think this is if you go through this path, you will have many doors open to you.
Absolutely.
You can watch the Capivara Cafeinadas channel, right? Oh, I think I haven't shared it. Let me share here on the.
You did.
Right at the beginning, I guess.
Yeah, you did share that. I saw that on.
Oh, I already, yeah. Sure, that's true. Okay,
Yeah, so
cool. Yeah, go ahead, John.
no, just inviting everyone to go hop into Capivara Cafeinada. Let's learn a little bit about competitive programming there. It's fun. That's one thing I can say. It's a fun way to learn.
That's
Awesome.
amazing.
I just subscribe it, so go click, hit subscribe there. It's awesome.
Yep.
I will definitely check it out. Yes, I got inspired by this stuff.
Oh, that's true. That's cool. Yeah.
Sounds very interesting, and I enjoyed very much this conversation. So
It's
was really
Capivara
nice.
Cafeinada.
Yes.
Yeah, Cafeinada. It should be with Java. Cafeinada is coffee, so you should use Java as well.
On the competition.
Oh, I think coffee is like just a universal programmers.
Yeah, symbol, right?
Yeah.
I would say fuel, not symbol.
Well, yeah, that's true. So, okay. So, thanks a lot, John, for joining us today. Thanks everyone that is watching us. It was a great session. I really enjoyed talking with you and learning so much about the competitive programming and how it is nowadays. And yeah, I hope if you if you are watching us and enjoyed the content, yeah, please hit like and subscribe our channel as well. And also on the Capivara Cafeinada at YouTube to watch John's content. So thanks a lot, everyone. I hope to see you on the next session. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Follow us as well on your sites and profiles. And take care, guys. Thank you, Joel. See you
Thank
next
you.
time.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.